The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness LLC.
Dr. C. Victor Urban III. I'm taking it to the house.
And I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover. I want to welcome you to another edition of Taking It to the House. Vic, man, I see you got the LA hat. You're representing. I got my Dodger shirt on. I'm trying to represent. But every time I turn a Dodger game on, I see them getting their heads busted. I'm trying. I am sports deprived. So the only thing on right now, the only thing that's happening is baseball. I don't get much into soccer. So UFC, fighting, USFL, I don't do any of those. So that's on me. Having said that, though, them Angels. Have you seen an Angel game lately? They're just exciting. We got Shohei Ohtani. That boy he hit a ball last night, man. I didn't even see the ball hit the bat, nor did I see it leave the stadium. 476 footer. Okay. He just swung and it just was the easy stroke crack. You remember how beautiful Ken Griffey would swing and hit? It was like that, just a beautiful stroke, beautiful swing, and bam, crushed it. So I'm impressed with Otani. I've said it before, I say it again. Will the Angels be able to keep him? He's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. If the Angels are in the running, they're going to want to keep him. But do you trade him before that happens? Because you want to get equal value for him. So I know long and deep pockets, New York Yankees. I know the Mets. I know Padres, and you know your Dodgers will want to get some Otani. So I'm interested to see how that happens. But back to my Dodgers, they're third place in the National League West. Major injuries, again, a huge roster turnover, but somehow they get through it. So Kershaw is still having an unbelievable season already. He may make it to the All-Star game again, which I won't be surprised because, dude, he's ageless. Yeah, at times he get busted up. That curveball won't curve anymore sometimes, and he just leaves it over the plate. But I'm impressed, and I'm a Kershaw fan. So just want to open up with that. Again, welcome, fans. What is your summer going? How's your summer doing, Vic? What are you up to?
Man, as you stated, I'm in the post-basketball, football grieving period, but it's also like it's the pre-birth. We're pregnant with football season, the new football season. We're like 60 days, we're 35 days away from the Hall of Fame game. So, I'm in that middle ground of, man, dang, what we gonna do? But oh my gosh, football's right around the corner. And every small football update, it can be, oh, a quarterback, unknown and no name, has made a pass in OTAs. Oh my goodness, let me check out this article. Okay, so what? What's Dalvin Cook going to do? So, it's so close yet so far away. So in the interim, yeah, I'll still watch my Dodgers. I watched them the other day playing the Astros, and they had me up, they had me down, they had me up, they had me down, and we lost in the extra innings. So I haven't got a real pulse on how good the team is, or even how bad the team is, because of course my priority was football or basketball season. So it's a long season. And we said it years ago on this show. And Dave, we trust. And I do. I know we have a huge roster change, but I tell you who's a bad boy. Freeman. The note that we got him from Atlanta a couple years ago, bad boy. Mookie. He's still doing it. So it's now a matter of how do we get the pieces together? When did they hit their streak? When did they start peaking? Are they a seasoned, a veteran team? I know they had made a significant number of trades and offseason moves, so I was surprised a couple of days ago. I was happened to be watching the baseball game, and I saw Justin Turner in another jersey. I'm like, man, we let him go. So, again, it shows how disconnected at times I am from baseball. But I, I'm encouraged. Now, you talked about Otani. He should not leave LA. He should not leave the state of California. He should not leave. He's a Dodger. Just it was picked up by the JV team. He's been proven. We know that. Look, hey, just like the Clippers are the JV to the Lakers. We know it's Laker town. The Dodgers, LA is Dodger town. That's why they're called the Anaheim Angels. They're up the street, 30, 45 minutes away from LA. We watch baby brother do what he do. I'm surprised that Trout's still there. Once Otani, he wants to win. He's coming from Japan, where they just won the World Baseball Classic. And you think he wants to sit up here and play middle to the one of the lowest rating teams in historically the Angels in the league? Nah, he wants to win. He wants to be in the postseason. How do you have all-star caliber talent between him and Trout, and they can't do much with that team? So I do expect him to leave. The money is great, but he's shown that means nothing. He's producing on offensively, defensively, again, as a batter and as a pitcher. Dodgers can use some of that energy. We know Kershaw's leaving soon. He's on borrowed time, but to have an ace like an Otani, that'd be great. I and Dave, I trust, and the Dodger management, I trust that they go after him. But my summer, man, other than that, it's about that traveling and then getting spun up. But since we're talking about baseball, and I was going to use this for my final burn, how about them LSU Tigers? How about them LSU men Tigers winning the World Series of College Baseball Championship? That's two for us, bruh. That's two for us. LSU women's basketball did it this year, and LSU college baseball. So I just had to put that out there, just to so I am connected somewhere along the baseball line.
Okay. I ain't mad at you, man. Now, since we're playing fantasy baseball and Otani's going to be on the Dodgers by the end of the year or next year, okay, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Uh, let's stay in the baseball world just for a minute. Let's talk about our brother in the South down there, the Padres. You know their lineup that they got. Machado, Tatis, and I mean bats from the East and West, and they ain't doing nothing. You hear me? Nothing. You got to take. I love seeing them grovel, be at the bottom of the standings, maybe not even being heard from, but who expected them to be this poor, this bad, this early with the sticks that they have in the lineup? Amazing. So didn't know if you had a thought on that with San Diego Padres. You stayed down there for a little bit. You know a little bit about them and that town and that fan base. Wanted to know if you had a take on the Padres.
My take.
I always bring this up. A lot of people don't realize you play basketball. And going into this year, you were the leading rebounder returning in the area. Like, how much did basketball help you on the football field?
You know what I'm saying? Darius Barfield just graduated San Diego State. I can't remember. I don't know if he started 3 or 4 years, but the dude was a phenomenal standout at El Dorado, and then he went and he'd been playing cornerback. You know what I'm saying, at San Diego State. You know what I'm saying? But typically, what happens is people forget about athletes and stuff like that. That's in that's going out there doing stuff.
Yeah. So, and we want to really just pull back the veil a little bit and get into the mind of what a high major Division I athlete goes through the process to make a decision on where they're going to spend the next 4 to 5 years of their life.
So I resigned like the day of my last high school football game. So that happened, and with that happening, I was like, all right, I got to reopen it back up because, I'm not sure what's going on. I didn't know if my running back coach is going to stay or not, and I thought he was going to stay at the time, but if he didn't stay, I was like, I'm not going to go there anymore.
We're back.
My take is like this. This is strictly for the ladies. Ladies, imagine you at the nice nightclub doing it up with your ladies and you're having a good time. It's ladies' night. You see this nice man looking, all distinguished gentleman like he's got a suit on. He's got the nice lineup on the beard. He's got his stuff looking crisp. You're like, oh my, this may be my Boaz. This may be my dude. And y'all dance the night away like you're in the show from Dirty Dancing. You're just feeling it. You've already pictured your wedding dress, and it's this there. He looks the part, and he's showing out. Then he takes you he walks you to your car. You're like, oh my gosh! But before then, he goes, eek, eek. He hits his car, and you look at it. It's an old 1979 Hyundai. And you're like, this dude look good on paper. He look good, everything else behind here is a hot mess. And that's what the Padres are, a hot mess. They look great. They dance the night away. They smell good. It's intimidating, yet it's attractive. You're gonna come spend time, and then they're not doing anything with it. That's who they are, man. And they are who we thought they were. If I said the Angels were the American League version of JV team for California baseball, the Padres, they're always going to be little brother. I know they got over on us last year, but little brother wins the game every now and then. Look, we know California baseball belongs to two teams, Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. Everybody else is just playing just to play. They're that team that says, wow, I got a chance to play baseball today. Yes, go out there at that local park and go play, young men. Go play sport. Go ahead and play, champ. Good job. They can play baseball. But now when they finally leave, you see them grown men show up, and they say, yaka, yaka, yaka. See, the only thing that the California Angels and San Diego Padres need every now and then is a T-ball. Because after they hit those three strikes, go ahead and put on the teeth, let them play, and run around the bases. And everybody says, good job, good effort. Here goes your certificate of appreciation. Great job. Here goes your Capri Sun and orange slices. They're not the real deal, man. That's my take on that.
I was thinking that the orange slices and the Capri Suns. That was the only thing missing. And you hit that out the park. Well done and well said. Real quick, let's go into the basketball world. Yes, the basketball season is over, but now we're in the business side of basketball. Free agent signings is about to happen. It's going to be on and popping. We mentioned CP3 going to the Golden State. I'd like to hear your take. 3-team trade between Golden State, Washington, and Boston. So yes, people know he was traded from the Suns and went to the Wizards. Then he went from CP3, I'm talking about. He went from the Wizards to Golden State. So I got my teams mixed up, don't I? And I got my trade mixed up, so I apologize. Golden State and the Wizards made a trade. Poole goes to the Wizards, and CP3 goes to Golden State. Certainly want to hear your take on that. But the 3-team trade that I was talking about was Beal, Porzingis, and Marcus Smart from Memphis to Washington to the Suns. So I want you to address that. We talked about it briefly last week, but sir, it happened, and it's happening now. Does it move the needle in your world? Talk to me about this in the NBA landscape.
Does it move the needle? Gold State is always going to be scary. Do I feel they got more scary because they got CP3? Nah, no more scary than I thought if we got CP3. It's respectable. It's good on paper. He's a good team guy. He's a great leader. I'd be interested. I'm not going to put it in the Russell Westbrook category as far as chemistry, but he's a legitimate point. It'll be interesting how a legitimate point, and you got a legitimate point. You got Steph. You got Clay. You're assuming you'll have Draymond, Wiggins. It'll be interesting to see how he plays in that toolbox. But like we said last week, 82 games is one thing. What happens in the postseason? Can they count on him in the postseason? The way that Steve Kerr runs that team, they're a running team, and they're not a slow dribble up and down. So as Hey, we have a 38-year-old in LeBron James that's already defined the odds. But we do know the 38-year-old version of CP3 is not defining the odds. He has not completed a season in about, 4 or 5 years. So can his body keep up with the pace of Golden State? That's one. Two, on paper, it looks great again, but now we're looking at the general manager has departed. What is the construct of the team? What does leadership, how does that influence what happens on the court? So the move the needle, I still think that we at the Lakers are top four. I would still put the Dubs top five, maybe top six, but I don't think that moved the needle significantly. Where I'd say crown under the champs now. What do you think?
So let's back up a little bit. I want to rewind. The season started with a punch. Draymond laid out Poole, folded him up like a tent. Let's start there. Only, what is it, 8 months, 9 months later, Poole gets shipped out. That says volumes. That says, I'm going to make my bed with you, Draymond. Even though he's a free agent and they haven't signed him, he's not guaranteed to go into this next season. It tells me Poole was the problem. Punch or not, right or wrong, the organization, management, leadership, Kerr, and probably Curry, again, this is just speculation, they sided with Draymond. Poole got to go. Poole didn't play well. He was inconsistent. He was paid too much, and they did, dump his contract. So Washington can pick that up. Draymond, again, they sided with Draymond, but will they re-sign Draymond? Yeah, I believe they will re-sign him. Is he worth $30 million a year? Is he? He's about 33 years old. Now, that is the question, because Clay has to be signed too. So that's the backdrop. CP3, he has been known to be acidic in a locker room. He's been known to take over a locker room over coaches. He doesn't get along with all players or all coaches. That is part of the problem. We already got a highly mercurial guy in Draymond. So I see that as combustible. Kerr is a great coach. He's good. He can massage egos with the best of them. This may be too much for him, but we have to see. When it comes to wins and losses, it's regular season, to your point. They can do very well during the regular season, maybe top six. But man, you got to get to the postseason. And again, CP3 has not been able to finish the postseason. So it doesn't move the needle for me either. Because I don't see him fitting into their style of play. CP3 fitting into that cut, pass, move, cut again, run again, Curry style, get open. I see him as being ball dominant and needing to make the assist instead of the hockey assist, that kind of guy. But he's still a winner. I like him, but I just don't like this fit. And I think it doesn't do anything for me because you still have other problems in Golden State. You still need a big man. Looney is good. He can get you 20 rebounds, 15 rebounds a night for an undersized big man, but he just plays position like Dennis Rodman. You just body up. And so he does that very well. But remember the Bogut's, even JaVale McGee's, the smart guys coming off the bench, a seasoned vet, they don't have that in the middle. Doesn't have to score points, just be able to be an intimidator, alter shots. And so CP3 doesn't answer all their questions. As a matter of fact, it doesn't answer a question for me. It gives me more questions than answers.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is a post Bob Myers deal to show we can do this without you. And I don't believe that he would have made that move. I do believe that between Draymond and Jordan Poole, someone had to go. And I'd like your take where we now know from a management perspective for them to say Draymond's 10 years older than Poole. Draymond is known to get a couple ejections throughout the course of the year. They do say that he is the alpha male. He is also the leader. He is what allows it. He is the engine behind that team. But we also know that Jordan Poole was very successful the year prior. We know that he got that new deal. So for management to say, considering all those factors, Jordan, you're not good for this team anymore. You were good enough the year before when they won the championship. In 1 year, they said you're not that guy. So I would love, maybe in 10 years from now, they'll do one of those 30 for 30s, and we could really find out what happened during the Golden State dynasty, because that's a story I'd really be interested in understanding behind the scenes, what led to that punch. Because whatever it was, Jordan literally made his bed and laid in it, and now he will never be that player. He will never be that player. He just went to basketball purgatory. Like he would not be that player. And I have a guest star, as you see today. My dog Storm wanted to watch and participate. But yeah, he won't be that player. Not in go. And that's where I'm surprised. Well, that's what's always interesting when a player does so well in their contract early on, they get the money, and then they fizzle out. Now he's traded. He has a chance to be the guy. He has a chance to be the guy now in Washington, but will he be there? I doubt. I think his best seasons are behind him now.
All right. So that 3-team trade, Bill to Suns, Smart to Memphis, Porzingis to Boston. Who wins that trade? What's your take?
I say the C's won that trade.
Mm.
Do Memphis was Smart with so what? So we look at Smart replacing Bain. That's what happened. No.
No,
Who was our guy? Who was
Brooks.
our guy? Yeah. I mean, that's an upgrade. They get a little bit of veteran leadership, but with John Morant, do I think that moves the needle for Memphis, or do I think the needles move more for the C's? I still say the C's look like they won out with that. I look at they got some level of depth. They got a big man in the middle. They got Al Horford, and you got Porzingis. Uh, they've already made it deep into the playoffs the last few years. Does he upgrade in the East? I think that helps the C's upgrade in the East. Do I think that it moved the needles for Memphis in the West? Nah. Marcus is a good dude. I wish that we got Marcus. Now we talk about Marcus CP3. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't find a way in there. I mean, he would have been great nasty. We talked about that. He'd been a great nasty for us. But I think the C's went out on that. What do
Yeah,
you think?
I think they were all winners. They all were better for the trade. But if you had to rate them, I think it was the C's, the Suns, and then you go with Memphis. Memphis got mature. They got more mature. Just remember, Ja's going to be gone for about 25 games. And so you want to talk about a leader instantly, you get that in Smart for Memphis. And he's an okay point guard. He does move the ball. He can shoot the three mid-range, and he can play the defense. They need a veteran presence in the locker room. And so that's what's going to help Memphis. He will help when Ja gets back to spell Ja, and he can be that tough guy. Don't forget, Adams will be back too. So they'll have a couple tough guys in there to kind of help with that veteran presence, which they sorely need. Now, Bill, when you talk about Bill and KD and what's your boy
Booker.
yeah. So I don't know who's going to distribute the ball, which we talked about, but they will be able to fill it up. So they would be the second winner of the three. They will be able to fill it up, but they still need to round out their roster because their defense went to the Nets when they got KD. So the Suns will be formidable because of the firepower. It's an arms race. But Porzingis, we're talking about they didn't need him last year and they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. And so will he be enough to get them through to the finals? They don't need Porzingis, but it's going to be very helpful. Let's mind you, Celtics would have been a better draw than the Heat, but they didn't show up. They didn't beat the Heat. Went down 3-0-3 before they even showed up and played out. I don't know what they're going to do with Brown. I don't know what they're going to do with Tatum. I don't know if Porzingis is going to be able to pass the ball and make the offense flow a little bit better. He's an offensive weapon, but they are stagnant offensively. But the potential for Porzingis is what's so intriguing because they were already strong, young, play both sides of the ball. I like what they have as far as the makeup of the team, but you still got to play the game.
Yeah, and I had a chance to watch Porzingis a couple of times this last year. He's definitely a unicorn, definitely a great big, but can he stay healthy? But out of all the teams he's played for, at least he's going to a winner. The time he's with Dallas and doing the two-headed monster with Luca, they were still an okay team, but they weren't a proven successfully winning team. He is actually has upgraded the best team in his career. Obviously, he started with the Knicks. He had a time in Dallas, Washington, so he definitely landed on his feet. No pun intended. How does he do
Yeah.
when he's now in that market of Boston? He's not the guy, which is fine. He's not the guy, but how does he work with this? It's a chance again for him to showcase his talent. But when you play for the Boston Celtics or Los Angeles Lakers, you soon find out, are you meant to be in this league, and can you deal with the level of scrutiny, the media attention
Yep.
that warrants that type of market?
I'm gonna throw some names out. They're free agents. You say stay or go, and if you offer a couple reasons, cool. James Harden, Sixers.
Go,
Kyrie Irving, Dallas.
stay.
Okay, okay. Now go back to James Harden. Where does he go?
Houston.
You think so?
Go
Okay,
back to
okay.
Houston, play with Uday,
They
the
don't want him.
coach. That
They
they
don't
don't
want
want
him.
him.
They don't want him. I think they're ready to move on. I think James Harden, man, I think he's done, honestly. And if he stays with the Sixers, you got your boy Tyree Maxey up there, so you're studying his growth. I would like to see him go, but I don't know where he would go, because I like Maxey as the the alpha
Heir apparent, yeah.
heir
Who
apparent. There you go.
and he's studying hit his peak. It would
Yes,
be in Harden's best interest to stay, but he
right.
will go because he's searching for something.
Still want that
He
ring.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not going to get too many more opportunities where he can be the guy. He's
right.
just not showing up. I'm surprised the Sixers want him to come back. I would see him leave, either try to go to Houston, come somewhere in the West. Like, to your point, where will he go where he can be the guy?
Right.
Where would he go where he'd be effective? I don't believe he's that guy he used to be.
Right.
It just, I mean, that ship sailed very quickly. I mean, it was
Yes.
just like all
Yeah.
overnight.
Yes.
Was he supposed to leave Houston? That guy, he was in Houston. I mean, what they
Monster.
say, Houston, we have a problem. When he left from OKC and went to Houston, that was his best. That was his best version. Then he
Yeah.
came to the Eastern Conference. We lost him. We see spurts. Um, I think Philly fan and Philly media eat him up alive too. So I don't think his ego can handle staying in Philadelphia. And with Kyrie, I don't who wants him. Not to say he's not going to be a game changer, but we know what you get when you purchase that. And that's why I'm very excited to watch what the Los Angeles Lakers do with Austin Reeves and signing him. If they do that, then we know that we're all in. We're
Yeah.
all in, and Kyrie's not going to have that chance. We do not need to go to a point where we gut our roster. We just need to we just need some tinkering. But yeah, I think James is gone and Kyrie stays because there's this. Mm.
Couple
What are
more.
your thoughts on? Yeah.
Couple more for you. Rui Hachimura.
Oh, he stays.
Okay. And Jalen Brown for the Celtics.
I
Max
believe,
contract.
yeah,
Max contract.
I believe the moves we saw so far was just the tip of the iceberg. I think he goes.
Okay.
I
I
think
got
he goes.
one last one for you. Big one. Man, trade rumors abound. We talked about Dame Lillard, Portland. Does he stay? Does he go?
He
And
goes.
here's the thing. If he stays, and he's hinted he wants to play for a championship. He does not have the pieces around him to go for a championship. So what happens? Does he go? Does he chase the ring? Which he's been loyal. He's been talking about those who have chased the ring. Does he stay or does he go? What does management do? Management just yesterday talked about we're going to build and we're going to support. We're going to build around Dame and make a contender around Dame. How? How is my question? But I toss back to you. Does he stay? Does he go?
He goes. To your point, how? How? The biggest man on the block right now, literally and figuratively, all puns intended, is Jokic. So, okay, Blazers, what's your plan? How are you going to build? And when you build, how quick is it going to be? Because the bad guy on the block is the Denver Nuggets. They can't deal with that. We already talked about the top 4 teams. We even said Golden State's number 5. So until Dame has a team that can even rival against Golden State, why? How long do I wait after 11 years being here? I gave y'all everything I could. If I really want to win that championship, send me to Miami. Let's go, Jimmy Buckets. Them two right there, done deal. Game, set, match. They taking the East. You put them two together, yeah.
I could see that, and a lot of people are mentioning that him going to Miami. So that immediately he'll be playing for something, a long run into May, June, possibly. Let's see what happens there. Last thing I wanted to bring up, Joe Burrow. I love me some Joe Burrow. Humble cat. I heard him say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. Now, can you imagine Joe Burrow with all his accolades talking about and conceding being maybe second fiddle? He didn't say who's second. He just said conceding to Patrick Mahomes. So you're an NFL guy. You love your football. Who would you start your team with if you had to choose one quarterback?
Patrick Mahomes.
No brainer.
No brainer.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow says what everybody else knows. And Joe Burrow, I don't think he is diminishing his talent and who he is. But we just talked about Joker being the baddest guy on the block. Pat Mahomes owns the NFL right now. He is that baddest guy. Tom Brady left. Patrick Mahomes. Guess what? You got Aaron Rodgers in the league. He's a bad guy, but he got one ring. Pat Mahomes. What's Pat Mahomes when he is 38 years old and Brett Favre's age? Aaron Rodgers' age. How many rings does he have then? Yeah, he is the baddest guy on the block. So kudos to Joe Burrow because he's the bad man himself.
Yeah, he is.
Josh Allen's a bad guy, but I love when kings recognize kings. Be humble enough to say, you know what, that's a real man. I would love to see someone say in 1995, they asked Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, George's a bad dude. Own it. We all don't be dumb. So I respect it because Joe says, hey, I want what he got. I don't have a ring. I've been to the show and that guy worked me. I've been to AFC Championship. The guy worked me. I made it to the show and saw how hard it is to win in the Super Bowl. But this guy did it twice.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I have a higher respect for Joe for him saying something like that. And it's to your point, like you say, a fisherman knows another fisherman. A ball player knows another ball player. He's not diminishing his skills. He's just giving Patrick Mahomes a lot of props. 2 championships in 3 years. And as long as Andy Reid is around, man, there's probably more coming. And forgive me, I'm not saying he's a systems quarterback. I'm not saying that at all. I think it's just a perfect marriage and you need that. You need to be with people that believe in you and knows your skill set and utilizes your skill set to the maximum, which Andy Reid does for the Kansas City Chiefs. So everybody needs that. Joe Burrow, I think, has that. I don't know yet if Josh Allen has that. To name a couple, Herbert for LA Chargers. I don't know if he has that, but you need that. We saw Russell Wilson when he went to Denver last year and he didn't have a OC that could save his life or the coach, and they had to change OC coordinators and play calling in the middle of the season. It affects you. It does. And so to have an OC or coach that believes in you, trusts you, and allows you to flourish to your maximal potential, that's going to lead to success in general, unless you're just a flat out knucklehead, can't play the game or play the systems. But when you get to this point, it's hard. It's hard to win a game. It's hard to win an AFC championship, which Joe Burrow has done. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. And there's only one that can win out of all those teams. And so Patrick Mahomes has done it a couple of times. And I salute you, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. It's definitely that time. And again, mad respect for those quality players. And again, that's coming from the AFC. And if Lamar Jackson had anything to say, then I would expect him to give props to Patrick Mahomes and props to Joe Burrow. Dare I say, we're in the same division because Joe did something that Lamar couldn't, winning a playoff game and then getting to the show and beating Patrick Mahomes to get to the show. So I love the pecking order. I love the young quarterbacks. And what does that say? The NFL is in a great position.
Yes.
The NFL is in a great position for the next 10 years.
Yes.
So, hey, bro, I think I think it's at that time, man.
Yes, sir.
I think we're at that time, baby.
The train has run its course. We're at the end. My last take is the 4th of July is coming up, and let's celebrate safely. A lot of people will shoot off fireworks. Inevitably, somebody's going to shoot a gun in the air. That bullet will go up, but the bullet will come down. Please, please, holiday safely, okay? Drinking, driving, partying. Hey, just be smart, be responsible, and be able to see July 5th, okay? Look out for your neighbors, look out for the kids especially, okay? So happy 4th of July to our fan base. And I'm out.
Hey, I build upon that. We'll see you all next week. And it's a 4th of July celebration. America, again, America, the beautiful, home of the brave, land of that free. And as we continue to make this country the best sign of democracy, this again, don't take it for granted what we've done. And those heroes that made July 4th possible. Those heroes, yes. So again, eat them hot dogs. Joey Chestnut still doing his thing. Whatever you do, just be safe. Be safe, have fun, enjoy the time. And we will see you all next week, if not next week, because we are doing our own 4th of July time. We'll see y'all the following week. But definitely be safe. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the first weekend of summer. You all take care. Taking to the house is out.